public consultation process has commenced around the development of a new 6-year plan that will guide the future economic and community development of County Clare. And for more on this, we're joined in studio by Bernadette Hawke, the Senior Executive Officer for the Rural Development Directorate, and also Head of Enterprise at the Local Enterprise Office Clare. It's Pádraig McElwee. You're both very welcome to studio.
Good morning, Alan.
Morning, Alan.
Good morning to both of you. Bernadette, could you give our listeners an overview, if that isn't too big a question?
Absolutely. So, good morning, listeners. The development of the plan itself has been overseen by the Local Community Development Committee in County Clare. And that's a committee that's comprised of 9 members from local government agencies and 10 members then as well from the local development and community interest side of the house across the county. It also then, I suppose, the economic perspective of the plan will be guided by Clare County Council's Economic Development SPC. So I suppose unlike a spatial plan, like the county development plan, shall we say, the LECP is different. The county development plan would set out where new infrastructure, roads, houses, offices are all built, whereas the LECP will seek to attract funding to develop community and economic infrastructure and facilities such as business support hubs, training centres, community centres, play areas, community gardens, sports facilities, and a lot of community development infrastructure. So I suppose that's the main difference. And I suppose for the public perspective and communities that would be out there that we're looking to engage in this plan, the whole ethos around the plan is that we want the public to engage so that they can inform, the future development of the county, particularly from a community development perspective. And they'd be asked when they're applying for funding in the future, how does your project align with the local economic and community plan? So it's important that they come out and have their say on shaping that plan for the next 6 years.
Just from your perspective, Pádraig, given you're involved with the Local Enterprise Office, the future economic development of County Clare will be of particular interest to you and the businesses you're dealing with.
Yeah, and this is what we got to do. We got to get a balance between the economic aspirations for the county and the community interests and make sure they're aligned. But if you look at from my day-to-day job at small enterprises, that's about creating jobs in our communities. So how do we make that viable for businesses to survive into the future? It might be what infrastructure we need, what type of supports are needed. Bernie alluded there to some of the funding streams that come on board. So one good example is that coming out of the last plan is all the remote hubs that we have around the county now. They've been hugely transformational in a number of ways, both for remote working and for innovative early stage companies. It gives them a location. As they evolve, they will become more important, and particularly where we see it, I know a number of people now that maybe are working in Dublin, but they might go to Dublin 2-3 days a week, but they also then have the flexibility using remote hubs. Maybe that might be a Monday and Friday. And some of the people I've spoken with, where they find the value of the remote hubs is actually the community within the hubs. There's some people I would say, sure, you have broadband at home, but you not work at home. They actually value going to a place where they can mix with others, so they get, in essence, the semblance of an office environment, but without the travel.
And so the remote hub's still proving very, very popular. Can you tell us a bit, Bernadette, about the high-level goals that have been set out in the Socio-Economic Statement?
They're draft high-level goals, I suppose, to say to the public at this stage. And I suppose what we really want their engagement in is around, are we on the right track here? We've had our own series of, I suppose, workshops and that with the various stakeholders across the county who've informed the draft high-level goals. And they are set out in that public consultation document. So rather than going through them here today, I would encourage the public to go on to, or have your say, and have a look at our website. And that document is there. It's very clear. It sets out where we are in the process. It sets out what those high-level goals are. And it basically gives the public the information as to how they can have their say and their input into the development of those. Sorry, Pádraig, from the economic perspective.
Really what we want people to do today, the high-level goals, and that's what they are, high-level goals. We want to make sure that they are appropriate for the county from both a community perspective and an economic perspective.
Yeah, hence their draft ones.
And now is the time to engage, because we're still in the early stage of this process. So the more engagement we get at this stage, the better chance that we will have a robust implementable plan. Because what will happen is we'll have the goals, we'll have the high-level objectives, but we need that to turn into actions, and those need to be actions that can be implemented. And that's where we need that engagement now, so that we can develop those actions and that they can make a real tangible benefit to our towns and villages.